It's been another historic season for Europe's premier basketball competition. As the latest Turkish Airlines EuroLeague campaign ends on a high in Belgrade, we reflect on an epic journey in our month-by-month season review. 16 teams began the season in October, only one would be crowned champions in May.
The road to Belgrade began in October, as champions Fenerbahçe Istanbul discovered repeating wouldn't be easy. A clash of champions saw EuroCup winners Unicaja Malaga pull off an upset, beating Fener by a single point.
Yeah, I think that we showed that we are capable to beat anybody if we really work like we did.
Elsewhere, teenage star Luka Doncic stole the headlines, putting on a show with a 27-point haul as Madrid won at ADIDAS Efes Istanbul. But the standout moment of the month came in Athens as Panathinaikos gained a measure of revenge over Fenerbahçe.
Here's Papas taking on the three and knocking it down in the final second.
Beating the team who swept them in the previous season's playoffs. As the opening month drew to a close, only Madrid and Olympiacos were unbeaten, while Anadolu Efes and Baskonia remained winless.
19 years old and on top of the world. Rising star, all EuroLeague first team, regular season MVP, Final Four MVP and EuroLeague champion. Luka Doncic's clean sweep making basketball history. But what makes this teenage prodigy so special?
I think Luka has a little bit of a star inside, no? I always put the example of the first day that we put it on the floor, he grabbed the ball and hit a three. Luka is always a guy that you can push harder because he's gonna give you back.
Arriving as a 13-year-old in the Spanish capital, Doncic was soon tasting success, helping Madrid win the ADIDAS Next Generation tournament at just 16. Making his EuroLeague debut that same year, it was soon evident Doncic was a superstar in the making.
Oh, Luka. He doesn't stop surprising me.
Ahead to Doncic, he'll take a transition three and knock it down 55 to 50.
His basketball IQ and the way he's able to mentally probably slow down the game is what makes him that special.
Despite losing in the semi-final in Istanbul last year, Doncic would be named the EuroLeague's rising star. But in the 2017-18 season, that star would become the brightest in the whole of the EuroLeague galaxy.
I think he has it all. He's so big, is able to rebound, pass, shoot. I mean, he's an unbelievable talent.
In Sergio Llull's absence this season, an 18-year-old Doncic almost single-handedly lifted Madrid into Final Four contention. A Real roster racked with injuries, finishing 5th in the standings, as Doncic averaged nearly 17 points and over 4.5 assists.
What Luka has done at only 18 is incredible. He is a player that started at this club. He arrived very young, already a great talent, and now he's a superstar at a major team at such a young age.
At just 19, he scaled the heights of European basketball. When will we see another young player as good as Luka Doncic?
Every 10 years a great player appears, but every 30 years a special player comes along. Luka is that player.
November began with a bang as the last two unbeaten records disappeared, Real Madrid and Olympiacos finally beaten. And new Baskonia coach Pedro Martinez had a dramatic winning debut.
5 seconds left, Beaubois drives, Beaubois puts it up, Beaubois scores! Beaubois scores!
Round 6 and all change at the top as further defeats from Madrid and Olympiacos allowed Cisca to rise above them. And Anadolu Efes became the last team to get into the win column after a big victory in Barcelona. November's double week was full of drama. Broza Bamberg stunned Barcelona in Nuremberg.
That is one of the great comebacks. Broza Bamberg down and on their knees have come back and won this one.
And Fenerbahçe were victorious in Moscow for a second straight year.
It's a rim shot, being kept alive, that will count! Oh my goodness, Nicolo Meli
Nick Calathes was a rebound shy of a triple-double as Panathinaikos won a thriller at Efes, and as the month drew to a close, Pana enjoyed a big comeback to beat Madrid and move into the top 4 for the first time. A third of the way through the regular season, and while CSKA and Olympiacos enjoyed life at the top of the standings, injury hit Real were on the slide. A shock defeat at home to Crvena Zvezda, followed by an overtime loss at Olympiacos. December also saw a number of upsets, as Broza enjoyed another big comeback to beat Olympiacos, while ever-improving Zalgiris beat the champs in Istanbul.
Oh, Taurus Malagnis drives a three-point stake through the heart of Fenerbahçe Istanbul.
As 2017 ended, Madrid bounced back. A Luka Doncic masterclass, too much for Fener, while Valencia picked up their first win since October, finally halting a 10-game slide. The standings starting to take shape.
It's been a record-breaking season for Europe's premier competition, with 2 Greek players from rival clubs making their mark as the past masters. Panathinaikos' Nick Calathes and Olympiacos' Vasilis Spanoulis writing new chapters in EuroLeague history books as they blew away records for assists.
Nick is just the type of guy where he's a big part of this team. I've seen him pass the ball, between his legs. I've seen him pass it behind his head. I always tell the guys on the team have their hands ready, because Nick is the type of person that'll hit you in the face with the ball if you're not looking already.
Oh my heavens, Nick Calathes, don't do it to him like that. Absolutely outrageous.
At 35 years of age, superstar guard Vasilis Spanoulis seems to get better each season. This campaign, the Greek legend surpassed former teammate Dimitris Diamantidis by smashing the all-time EuroLeague assist record, 1,287 in a glittering 12-year career.
I feel nice when it happens something like that, but the most important, I speak 1,000, a million times about this, is if I can make assist to help the team to win, this is the most important for me. And making assist, you make somebody else also happy except myself.
It's very important because Spanoulis, he cannot only score, he can create very well, and for me that's a difference for one good player and one very big player, Hall of Fame,
Meanwhile, across the Greek capital, Nick Calathes took giant strides to attaining a similar legendary status at Pana. This season, he broke the EuroLeague single-season assist record, a monumental 249 across just 31 games, breaking the previous record set by Spanoulis himself.
It's a great accomplishment. Obviously, being in the same as Spanoulis, he's one of the best that's played in Europe, and to be able to beat his record is an accomplishment to me and also my teammates. Well, he was obviously an influence, especially early on in my career, and I've always had a great relationship with him. For Greek basketball also, to see the top 2 leaders in assists for Greece and for all time in Europe, it's something that says something about Greek basketball.
It's nice when you see Greek players to be in the top of the special list of passing the ball. So this means the basketball IQ of the Greek player and how the Greek teams are playing the basketball, and this is very important for our basketball.